Hi guys, I'm Anna Prosser Robinson, bringing you back live to New York Comic-Con here on the stage, powered by Twitch and presented by Courtyard. And I am here with the cast of Pretty Little Liars, which I know you're very excited to see. Of course, we have Sasha, Shay, and Troyan here joining us. That's Golden Boy down there, my co-host.
I managed to get into the cast of Pretty Little Liars as well. It was a great achievement in my resume.
This has been a hotly anticipated segment. There's lots of people around. If you guys can't see on the stream, we have lots of people snapping photos, and they're really excited. There's been so much going on your show. But for people who may not be as familiar with Pretty Little Liars, maybe could you each introduce yourselves in terms of who you play on the show?
Sure. My character name is Allison De Laurentiis, and she is very feisty. She was once the queen bee who was supposed to be dead but isn't, and she kind of haunted Rosewood, and now she's alive, and a bunch of crazy stuff has happened, and this is two of my posse right here.
It's so interesting having to like re-explain who we are from the beginning.
I know. I feel like I haven't had to do
on
that
air
in years.
for 6 years, so now I'm like, oh right, okay. I play Emily Fields, and she is the sporty, athletic one out of the group. Kind of like the sweet one that everybody thinks is, she's really loyal to all of her friends, and basically these girls are getting stalked and haunted by this A character who has now been released, but depending on where you are in the series, you may or may not know who that person is.
Yes.
Yep.
And I play Spencer Hastings, who is the smart, I think, de facto leader in place of Allison, which is why, like, in the beginning of the story, there was so much tension between our characters. Yeah. You guys nailed it with the rest of the stuff, so I wouldn't even...
It's like that's it, cut and dry. Done. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, actually, I did want to ask you, so at the end of the season just now, there was a reveal of who A was, right?
Yes.
So in season 6, I believe, is coming up soon.
Season 6B.
6B, okay.
Yeah,
so
we have an A and a B.
Okay, so you guys are at that point where, it's like we got to section this off A and B.
Well, we've always done a summer season and a winter season.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
We're really lucky because we have a lot of episodes a season, which is very rare, especially nowadays.
Fantastic.
Well, and there's so much going on because, as you mentioned, we did just find out who A was. And that's been a long time coming for you guys.
Yeah.
So how was it to finally complete that episode and have that reveal? And how long did you know and have to keep it a secret who A was?
Well, I mean, we're used to keeping secrets.
I guess so.
On the show and in real life. But it was just surprising. We knew I had a suspicion of what it would be, but I never knew how they were going to tie it together. And then obviously we had to keep it from all of you guys.
Totally.
But it was amazing. It was really fun. Vanessa Ray, who plays Charlotte, is brilliant. And I just love the storyline and how they wrapped it together. Marlene has been working on this forever. And the way they portrayed Charlie, Charlotte, Cece, all of these, the one character, but it was just beautifully written. I think the fans enjoyed that, yeah.
Was it really satisfying to finally, not necessarily close that chapter, but conclude that conflict, if you will?
Yeah, I think we were all relieved to finally be able to be like, A
Oh my God.
is
This person.
It will, and I mean, because everywhere you go, people are just like, "Who's A? Who's A?" And they're just shouting, and it's like finally we can turn around and be like, "It's Charlotte, like ask me something new."
Yeah, totally. Well, and in terms of the new, you're now moving on, if I'm not mistaken, to 5 years later.
Yeah.
So you're going from portraying your characters as high school students to all of a sudden being adults. That's a huge jump as an actor. So
It is.
How have you gone about preparing for that?
It was also really fun because the way that we were shooting it, we had on one day we were our characters as they have always been in high school. I mean, to the furthest point, they were 18. And then the very next day we were playing 23, 24.
Yeah.
Wow.
The next day. So it wasn't even like a break in between to be like, who is this person?
Wow.
It was just like, there you go.
Wow.
It's really ironic for me because when I started the show, I was 12 when I did the pilot.
Wow.
And I was much younger than the character I was playing.
Yep.
And then I was older than the character I was playing, and now I'm younger than the character I'm playing again.
Whoa.
It's a full circle.
It's age.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Age-ception.
That's exactly what it is.
Wow,
Well, and I
that's
know
amazing.
that characters have gone through so much in terms of growing up and experiencing really hard things and coming back from them. So I'm really interested in learning about having aged through this show as you all have. How much do you rely on your own personal experience with growing up to portray your characters?
For me, I feel like it's a little different because hopefully I'm not like Allison.
Right.
She was fun to play because every time I had a scene, it was completely different. But I think you guys had a different experience with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say? Well, I mean, because I feel like
I'm getting so distracted by the
I'm
awesome,
getting so
like,
distracted
costumes.
right now.
Oh,
it's
wow,
amazing.
cool. Oh, wow. There's
We
so
are
many.
at New York
I can't
Comic
even
Con.
focus
Sorry.
right now. Sorry.
No, you're good.
tough
You're
to
good. Don't worry
focus.
about it. There are awesome
really
costumes
awesome.
here.
I feel like Emily is very, very far away from you, Shay.
Yes, very
Yeah.
much so. I
Yeah.
don't
It's also
know if
true.
we could, yeah, we're about 180 degree different.
Really?
Yeah. Wait, what was the question?
How
I don't know.
different are you?
How
from-
different are, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, playing her, I mean, really when I do go to work and I step into her shoes, I completely feel different from myself. And I do transform into Emily when I am on set, which is kind of cool actually, because I mean, there is that separation for me. And
Totally.
then as soon as I get out of her clothes, I'm like, hey, I'm back to me.
Yeah.
It just feel like almost therapeutic sometimes. You know, to just kind of like be this one person and then go on set. You can betray this other person, you come off and you're like, okay, got that out of my system. Because we all have that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's also what's kind of fun for us, especially when we get on. Like right now, we're just getting on our hiatus.
Yeah.
And it's always really fun because our seasons are about 8-9 months long.
Right.
And so when
Yeah.
you spend 9 months in the headspace of one person, it's amazing. I know for me, like, I step out and I'm like, what do I want to wear?
Yeah.
What do I want to eat? Where do I go? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like all of a sudden
Yeah.
I have to like remember who I am instead of, you know, putting on pajamas and then
Yeah.
going to work and becoming Spencer Hastings.
Yeah, you've been a part of this for so long, right? So it's like, you know, at this point, I would imagine it's kind of like a light switch, right? And then that's why
Yeah.
you guys are so talented, and that's why you were able to do what you do, right? I know personally I can't do that, right? You know, I'm a boy from the Bronx. I'm a boy from the Bronx. That's it. It doesn't really go much
Nice.
different than that. It's how I am. It's how I
You know
talk.
who you are.
Yeah, right. But at the
Yeah.
same time, though, maybe I would like to be like, you know, Alex from the Hamptons. You
Yeah?
know, I
Yeah.
like to take that role on. I've
Go to
never been.
Vegas.
Why don't you try
Go
it
to
out?
Vegas. There you go. Try it on.
Give
one
me
day.
anyone you want to be there.
Yeah, right. We can all be who we want. That's awesome.
Well, you can, you know, you are a part of the cast of Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, no,
now.
I am now.
Yes,
Apparently, I
you
made
are.
it, guys.
So,
This is it.
yeah.
Can you tell
So
us
now
who
you're in
your
Rosewood.
character would be?
My
is
my
she called- what
my
is her
character's
name?
name is Consuela.
Consuela.
She is a
Where does she fit into the girls group? Like smart, athletic.
Right.
you know,
Kind of
neither.
sassy
You know, given my portliness, I'm gonna go with the fat girl. And I'll rock that proudly. By the way, you know,
Yeah.
you haven't seen me in a speedo yet. It's an
That's a-
experience.
So
My wife turns away and runs the other way. It's an experience.
Consuela's got confidence.
Consuela
that's
has
the
confidence.
Like it.
Consuela's her name.
Okay.
Confident.
I like it.
Well, since you brought up confidence and fashion, I guess if you would call it that, a lot of the
Speedos.
fans have been mentioning to me that fashion is a big aspect of the show. They're really
Yeah.
interested in the fashion. That's maybe going to change as your characters are more in adulthood. Has there been kind of a focus on fashion? Has that been fun at all?
I think just our characters changing has kind of brought that on. I've called it the classier PLL because now we're older and our wardrobes have kind of become more sophisticated. Mine is being described as the casual Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
And that's
Ooh.
I'm a teacher, and like that's what I.
Good one.
So I'm still in heels and like really cute skirts or something like that for Allison.
I think Emily's remained, you know, her comfortable look, but in her basics have maybe gone up a little bit. They're more like a little bit more expensive.
But
so
she's
instead
also
of-
like a hot college girl. She
Yeah.
gets a lot of tips when she bartends.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
Yeah.
laid
Consuela.
back.
like it's Consuela.
Consuela in the speedo.
In this.
And then Spencer she's always been very classic, and sophisticated, and so now that she actually like works in an office and gets where it's a lot more heels than I've ever worn on the
Yeah.
show.
And I love your bangs. I think the bangs suit you so well.
Thanks.
Yeah,
It's been a very big conversational piece at Comic-Con
Yeah.
this year.
The
My
bangs?
It's very
yeah.
good.
Really? What's the defining statement on the bangs?
Everybody loves them.
I don't know. I feel like people are back and forth on the bangs, but I definitely think
No.
it's a hot topic. A lot of
Yep.
people want to discuss it, and then I'm like, it's hair. Should
Because
we
I also
move
think
on?
that you were the one who really did change up her look.
But that's the
physically
funny
with
thing.
hair.
Is I was like, I thought I was gonna be the person who would least change.
No, that would be
because
me.
Lucy was like, I'm going blonde, and then like she kind of showed up with
Right,
a little bit lighter
right.
hair, and then Ashley was like, I'm going longer, and then it was like
A little
you
bit longer.
a little bit longer, and then you were like, I'm not touching my hair.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I guess I'll do bangs because like that won't
Right.
be
Different.
anything different. And then all of a sudden, like I posted a picture, and all of our fans were like, love it, hate it, crazy. Like, why would you do this? How did
Yeah.
you do this? And then they were mostly upset because they were like, wait, why don't you really have bangs?
It's actually really cool how they do it. There's
Yeah,
just a
that's fun.
special bang piece.
Wait, so
Like an
the
extension.
thing that exists.
Kind of,
it's
yeah.
a separate bang thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has,
Hey, I gotta
it's
look
like
that
an
up.
Get you one of
extension.
those.
It's
I gotta
really
look
cool.
that up, girl.
Yeah.
I need that big time.
Well, I do have to wrap us up. I'd love to chat with you guys a little bit more, but I wanted to ask, there's so much going on in terms of relationships for your characters, in terms of growing up, in terms of changes. Is there anything you can tell us about either relationships or plot lines or stories that we will see in the upcoming season?
Well, there's a new villain,
Okay.
Yes.
and we can't tell you a lot about this villain, but it's much more serious and deadly.
Ooh,
But
serious and deadly.
It is. I have a really, really cool love story, which I think is fun. It's actually quite
great
healthy.
for, like, the first
yeah,
time.
for the first time. You see in one of our sneak peeks that my last name has changed. But I'm not married
Exciting.
as when we come back, but you get to see our love story, which I think is
That's
cool and different for my character. But
Yeah, Emily. I mean, she has a revolving door of girls, you know.
She
so it's
does.
going to be interesting to see who she actually ends up with.
You're
in
a
this
player.
next season. Little playette over here.
Yeah. And I think the cool thing is Spencer's been in a long-standing relationship since season. It hasn't stopped her from like exploring other options, but she's definitely been in a long-standing relationship since season 1 or 2. And I think the cool thing is when we get to come back, you find Spencer more married to her career,
Cool.
and then somebody possibly new.
Cool.
Man, they're just dropping bombs.
Yeah.
Over here. This is it,
I
folks.
know, left and
Well,
right.
Thank you,
Quality
guys.
journalism from Man of Profit.
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Where should people look for news about Pretty Little Liars or following you guys on social media, anything like that?
Our Instagrams or Twitter, but prettylittleliars.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Have a great time at Comic-Con. Go check out some of those costumes.
I love it.
How did he get his hair like that?
Oh my God, and those
Oh my
ears.
gosh.
So Batman's
Your
back there.
hair.
And
I
guys,
love it.
we will be right back from New York Comic-Con here, powered by Twitch and presented by Courtyard right after this.
Perfect.